What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with Dark Hay Outpost and geeksandgamers.com, and we have talked about how disappointing the NBA ratings have been during this restart, with so much of the story focused on the national anthem protests, the social justice messaging, not just on players' backs, but also with Black Lives Matter literally painted on the floor during these NBA games. And people are tuning out. It has backfired for the NBA, and it has also backfired for companies like ESPN, who have made so much of their programming not about sports, but about politics and about divisive politics. Look at this chart here. We have Rich Greenfield, Light Shed, saying ESPN sub losses continue to accelerate, now down 6% year over year. Sports media needs a new business model. Well, and they need to do something else. They need to stop talking about divisive political things. That's really what they need to do. They need to start talking about sports. Now take a look at this chart. And we all have to take into consideration what is going on. We know the state of the world. With the pandemic, sports weren't around for a while, but sports are coming back now. But guess what? The ratings aren't. We are going to talk about that. But just this chart, looking at ESPN subscriber declines. This starts back in quarter 3 of 2016. You can see 2%, 2%, then getting bigger, around 3%. 3% for most of the last half of 2017, early 2018. Look at how it falls off of a cliff. Quarter 3, 2019, 4%. Quarter 4, 2019, 4.5%, then 5.5, and now 6. Look at it, scoot off the edge for a second. 6% for quarter 3 of 2020. That is horrendous for ESPN. People do not want to watch this anymore, and the ratings reflect that directly. Let's take a look at some of the things we've seen over the past couple months, and why I said just because sports are back, it's not just because sports are gone. Sports are back now, and the ratings are also miserable. Take a look at this. This is from June. This is after ESPN recorded the worst ratings in the history of the network. ESPN goes full Marxist while ratings drop to all-time lows. ESPN once again proves its audience that they are a sports network that doesn't want to talk about sports. And exactly, that is the problem. They're not talking about sports anymore. With no sports in sight, ESPN has decided to dedicate its 24-hour sports network to radical social justice, and their fan base has fled faster than women fled the Titanic. 2 weeks ago, ESPN did its lowest viewership in the 41-year history of the network. Abandoning sports, ESPN spent the last month on the coverage on the death of George Floyd and race relations in America. And just think about that. With everything we have been seeing over the past couple months, you want to escape that. You want to go turn on sports. And what do you get when you turn on ESPN? The same thing that you're seeing everywhere else. No wonder people are tuning out. ESPN's First Take was the highest rated ESPN show of the day, posting just 211,000 viewers. That was the 93rd highest rated program on all of cable. Barely cracks the top 100 in terms of cable TV. That is how depressing the state of ESPN ratings have been. Get Up had just 136 viewers, the lowest number in the show's history. SportsCenter All Day had just 168. And then all the other ones were also very low. Then they doubled down with the 2020 ESPY Awards, where they made it all about politics, all about social justice. Only earned under 500,000 viewers on both ESPN and ESPN2 combined, the smallest audience since it first started. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Nearly a quarter of the size of the previous low that it had back in 2011. Then they tripled down with The Undefeated, a SportsCenter special that sought to teach its audience about white privilege. Now, I'm going to play for you just the beginning of this. Imagine tuning in to ESPN to get away from all of the other stuff, everything else that's going on in the world. You want to talk about sports. You want to see what's going on in sports. And you tune in, and this is what you hear.
Get a little uncomfortable in this conversation, and I'm going to start with you, Tim. Why is it so hard for white people to talk about racism?
That is what you hear. You hear people, and then you hear white people come on and say, whether how sorry they are or why it's so hard for them to talk about racism and how it's tough to deal with their privilege. That is what you have to deal with when you tune in to ESPN nowadays. Here it is. Go talk to your white friends and your white families and your white coworkers, right? Time for a change. Check your privilege from the undefeated. The special only drew 100,000 viewers, the lowest in 25 years. Nobody cares about this. That's not why they want to watch ESPN. Again, a sports network that doesn't talk about sports. But like I said, sports are back now. Has that helped at all? No, in fact, it hasn't. NBA ratings yet to provide sports shows a ratings boost. We talked about this briefly the other day. You can see this is what's going on right now as far as ratings go. PTI had the highest average at just 337,000 viewers, right? But at the same time last year, with no NBA games, right? Because NBA usually doesn't play during this time. So during the same time, even though we have all this hype with the MLB and the MLB returning, when people haven't had sports in months, they should be hyped. They want to consume sports again because they've been missing it. Guess what? No, that is a 40% drop from what it was at the same time last year. The return of sports hasn't helped ESPN in ratings very much. The fact is that ESPN has hurt themselves, making themselves completely and fully dedicated to be a network about social justice instead of sports. When we go back to this graph that I showed you, you can see that it has been declining for a while. For years, the ESPN subscriber base has fallen. And ESPN subscribers for cable, always a big thing, they got $9 if anyone had a package that had ESPN in it. That's how much they got from each and every one of those people. So this is falling as people are cutting the cord, there's no doubt. But it didn't fall like this. Look at that last quarter, that absolute drop off. Again, I'll move myself to the side so you can see how much it dropped off. When you see over here, you saw it had a little drop before, but then it went back up around the end of 2018. What else happened around the end of 2018? That's when ESPN realized what they were doing, that they had gone a little bit too far. They did things like getting rid of Jamel Hill. Jamel Hill, who was calling out Donald Trump constantly, saying that all Donald Trump supporters are racists, right? That is one of the reasons that ratings tanked for them back then. And they did some things to try to stop focusing on that. But now it is just back to business as usual. They just continue to fall into this cycle. I don't think it's going to get any better for ESPN. I don't think they have anything else to do because that is all they care about, is preaching this message of social justice at the cost of all of their viewers. What do you think about this? Make sure you let us know in the comments below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.